Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
All right, 5 minutes after 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. One of my favorite places in the world is Boone, North Carolina.
Yes, it is.
This is a pretty
beautiful
place. I accidentally came across it. You know how I found it? I found it because my son, who grew up here in Florida, when he's an adult now, but when he was maybe 12, 13, 14, I thought to myself, gosh, he never has seen snow. Let's see if we can find snow. So we drove without even thinking, and we didn't have any plan or anything. Mm-hmm. And we ended up staying in a hotel in a place called Boone, North Carolina. And you know what happened that night? It snowed. It snowed. He got to see snow. Not just snow, but it snowed so much we actually went up to this ski place. I paid for an hour for him to learn how to do the... what do you call that, snowboard thing?
Yes.
Right? So I fell in love with that town that day. Suzanne Samples teaches at Appalachian State University in Boone, mm-hmm. and she's got a book called Frontal Matter. It's a memoir, and listen to this. This is the part that saddens me. She was diagnosed with a frontal lobe glioblastoma multiforme. I'm reading. I don't know what I'm talking about here, but it's a grade 4 brain tumor. At the age of 36, she's a contributor to Firewords, Cardinal Suns, Atlas, and Alice. I think her book, or something about her book, was put into the Golden Globe swag bag things.
Yes.
If I remember right.
Yes.
Suzanne Samples, good morning. It's an honor to have you on our show. How are you?
Good morning. Thanks for having me. I'm doing well.
And where are you? And are you in Boone?
I am in Boone. Right now we don't have any snow, but I know it's coming soon.
Is that right? So it's just a beautiful town. Yeah, I actually have been there in the summer, too, so I did fall in love with your town. And there's a connection between Boone and Ocala. I don't know if you know. It seems like everybody here knows Boone.
Oh, really? Yeah, I did not realize that.
Yeah. So tell me about the how do you say it? Frontal lobe glioblastoma multiforme. How is that right now, the tumor?
So it was a very quick diagnosis of a brain tumor, but at the time we didn't know that it was.
Say that again? You did cut out. Where'd she go?
I don't know.
Suzanne? We don't hear Suzanne. Suzanne, we don't hear you. If you hear us, there's
Sorry.
no audio. Suzanne, you there?
There she is.
1 second, please.
Okay, what happened there? Is that the publicist or is that Suzanne?
Yes.
Please wait until the host rejoins the conference.
Oh,
It's
okay.
the conferencing call dropped.
Okay.
Adrian's setting us back up.
Okay, thank you. We'll just wait here. I said when you talk, it's weird when you. I mean, she sounds so vibrant, right?
I know.
I'm hoping the rest of her sentence is good news.
And this book is so moving, too.
Did you read the whole thing?
Please wait until the host rejoins the conference.
Thank you, recording lady. Mm-hmm. The book is called Frontal Matter. Glue Gone Wild is the subtitle, by the way. It's getting really good ratings. I'm looking at the thing.
Suzanne back on the line.
Oh, my
Thank
God.
you, Adrian.
Suzanne, thank you. I don't know what happened there, but we were just talking about how you have really good ratings on Amazon and et cetera. So I'm sorry, you got cut off right when you were telling us about the tumor.
Right. So the short story is that it was pretty quickly discovered that I had a brain tumor after I experienced a seizure, and then I was sent to another hospital where they took the brain tumor out, and then later I was diagnosed with the glioblastoma. And after they took the tumor out, I had to go through an extensive process of rehabilitation, and I actually had to learn to walk again. And then the diagnosis came and was pretty devastating.
But you are okay now, or tell me about how you are now.
Well, sadly, glioblastoma is an incurable cancer, and so even though they took the tumor out and I've had treatment, including chemo and radiation, there are these little arms and tentacles that come from glioblastomas, and they just kind of disseminate throughout the brain. And so I don't have any current tumors, but the cancer is still there. But I'm thankful that right now we're in what's called a watch and wait period, where we're just kind of hanging out and waiting and seeing what happens next.
So, I'm not I'm not a psychologist or anything, but you sound so optimistic. I think that might be a good thing. I mean, where does that strength come from that you are showing us?
I think it definitely comes from my family, and I've always been a pretty strong person and faced any challenges head on, and of course this is the biggest challenge of my life, but I've learned, and it sounds so cliche, but I've just learned to take life minute by minute and try to celebrate even the little moments that I'm able to enjoy.
So tell me about the book. Tell us what's in the book.
The book is, I would say, a humorous take on brain cancer. I know people probably don't expect that, but humor was a way that I was able to get through, and I'm still getting through this experience. And I detail pretty much everything from beginning to, not to the end because I'm still in the middle of it, but anything that happened to me is in that book. And it's very realistic and at times dark, but at other times showing, that you can still find joy even if it's at the end of your life.
Your book is written in the narrative, and you have dialogue in there. And it's very emotional.
Yes, for sure.
It's funny, and it's sad, and it really gets to the point of every scenario that you're doing.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I think that's sort of symbolic of life. There are good times and there are bad times. But at first, I just wrote the book for myself because I didn't want to forget anything. But then later, when I was editing everything, I thought, hey, this is a story that could touch people and that could teach them about how to find humor in even the darkest times.
You look at children, you look at a little baby that's just learning to walk, and it's something that they do instinctively. They don't set out for it, but you lost your ability to walk, and you had to actually think about it to regain that.
Yes, that was the most humbling experience of my life because it was something that I just took for granted. And every second that I was walking, I took that for granted. And after I had a lot of physical therapy, and the end goal was to get me to walk. And later my doctor said, we didn't ever think you would walk again, but we wanted to push you in that direction. So thankfully, I was able to walk again, and after the first few steps that I took on my own, I sat back in my wheelchair and started crying, and not out of sadness, but out of joy that I could finally do something again that I used to take for granted.
Wow. Yeah, this is really inspirational. The Amazon listing says, just as reading this for the audience, a fun, funny, and heartbreakingly real memoir of a woman's fight against terminal brain cancer. The writing is honest, charming, and full of cuss words.
I know, that was great. I love that. Very honest and very cussy.
Oh my gosh. You know what, that just sounds like somebody full of life, you know what I mean? The way that's written, it sounds like you are just bubbling over with life. I think you're going to do anything you put your mind to doing.
Well, thank you.
And this also helped bring family together and friends, because everybody that was not diagnosed with it, they're all looking at their lives differently to see what they can do to better their relationships with others.
Definitely, and my family got even closer since everything happened. And some friends and I got closer, and then some were either too devastated to still be friends with me, or they saw their own mortality through my experience and couldn't handle it. But it really allowed me to trim the fat of people in my life, people that I thought maybe were close but weren't that close are now gone, and I'm surrounded by people who really support and care about me now.
So the notes say that the book was included in the swag bag for the Golden Globes. How did that happen?
Yes, well, my publisher at Running Wild Press did a great job with that, and I'm behind the scenes. I don't know how she made that happen, but she works magic, and yeah, she got my book and then a couple others into those swag bags, which was really cool.
Wow, that might be a movie. I mean, you never know. One of those movie people might be impressed by the story. We need new movies. Everything is a remake lately, right?
My mom has decided that she already wants Diane Keaton to play her. She's
good choice. Good choice.
Yeah, I agree. That's a really good choice. Yeah. Who do you want to play you?
If I had my choice, it would be some unknown actress waiting for her big break, not anyone famous.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
You do have a lot of words and scenarios of wisdom in your book, though, and to be wise like that at your age is really phenomenal.
Oh, well, thank you so much.
Well, Suzanne, thank you for being on the show with us today. The book is called Frontal Matter. I found it on Amazon. Do you have a website you'd like to direct us to?
I do. Your listeners can check out SuzanneSamples.com, and they can hear more of my story, see some pictures, and then order the book straight from the website.
All right. What's in your near future? What are you going to do?
I am working on a sequel, and I'm an instructor of college freshman writing, and I'm back to that.
Ah, okay.
Excellent.
All right. Is that your favorite part of teaching English, is helping people understand how to write?
Yeah, I love freshmen. They're my favorite group. A lot of people think that I'm wild for saying that, but freshmen are young and ready to learn and very adaptable to situations, and so I really enjoy teaching them.
And they're lucky to have you. Very lucky. You're a super role
thank
model.
you.
Suzanne, what a beautiful conversation. Very short, but beautiful. Thank you, Suzanne.
All right, thank you all so much.
You're welcome. We'll be right back.
Ocala Magazine is the city magazine distributed throughout Ocala, Marion County, and the Villages, providing award-winning coverage of important issues for almost 40 years. Hi,